On a chilly autumn evening in a small town, the air was thick with anticipation. The annual Harvest Festival was in full swing, laughter and music echoing through the streets. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows, a dark event was about to unfold that would alter the fabric of this close-knit community forever. Sarah Thompson, a vibrant 28-year-old teacher known for her infectious smile and deep commitment to her students, was the victim. Her life, filled with dreams and aspirations, was tragically cut short when she was found murdered in her home just days after the festival. The news sent shockwaves through the town, and the nation tuned in as the details emerged. The perpetrator, Jason Miller, was not the monster many imagined. He was a local handyman, someone the community trusted. His descent into darkness was gradual, marred by personal demons and a troubled past that few had recognized. The juxtaposition of Sarah's bright life and Jason's shadowy existence became a focal point for discussions across the country regarding the complexities of human nature. Detective Lisa Grant was assigned to the case, and her determination to seek justice was unwavering. "We had to look beyond the surface," she recalled during an interview. "Everyone saw Sarah as the perfect victim, but we had to understand Jason's motivations. We knew the key to solving this case lay in unraveling his story." The investigation utilized cutting-edge forensic techniques that were becoming standard in modern law enforcement. DNA evidence recovered from the crime scene was pivotal. "We had a breakthrough when we matched the DNA to a prior unsolved case," Detective Grant explained, her eyes lighting up with the memory. It was like a puzzle piece finally falling into place. As the investigation deepened, Sarah's family was left to grapple with their heartache. Her younger brother, Mark, spoke candidly about the impact of the crime. "It's like a storm hit our lives. One moment she was here, and the next, everything was shattered. We had to find a way to honor her memory while seeking justice." In the aftermath of the case, community forums sprung up, focused on safety and awareness. Many spoke about the importance of recognizing the signs of potential violence, urging others to trust their instincts. "We all thought we knew Jason," one neighbor lamented. "But sometimes it's the people closest to us that we need to be wary of." As the trial approached, the nation watched closely, captivated by the tragedy and the quest for understanding. The case ignited a dialogue about the complexities of human behavior, the masks people wear, and the fine line between normalcy and darkness. What had started as a horrific crime had morphed into a national conversation about vigilance, empathy, and the scars that linger long after the crime has been committed. It was a spring morning when the news broke that 22-year-old Emily Carter had vanished without a trace. A bright student at the local university, Emily was known for her ambition and kindness, often volunteering at community events. Her disappearance sent ripples of shock through the town, escalating into a frenzy of concern and speculation. Detective Sarah Mills was called to the scene, her brow furrowed as she pondered the sudden disappearance of someone so full of promise. Emily had so much going for her, she noted during an early press conference. "It's hard to believe she would just walk away from everything." As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Emily had been grappling with immense pressure from both her academic pursuits and societal expectations. Her parents, while supportive, had high hopes for her future. "We wanted the best for her," her mother, Linda, shared, tears brimming in her eyes. "But I wonder if we pushed her too hard." This sentiment echoed throughout the community as friends and classmates recounted Emily's struggles to balance her studies with a part-time job and the social pressures inherent in university life. "She was always trying to be perfect," said her roommate, Jessica. "But I could tell she was overwhelmed." She never really talked about it, though. As law enforcement began piecing together the timeline leading up to Emily's disappearance, multiple key witnesses came forward. A classmate mentioned seeing her distressed after a particularly challenging exam. She seemed lost, like she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, he recalled. Have you heard from her since then? Detective Mills asked, her voice calm, yet probing. No, she just went quiet, he replied, shifting uncomfortably. I thought she just needed some time alone. The community's response was immediate and heartfelt. Flyers featuring Emily's smiling face were plastered on every lamppost and community board. Vigils were organized, bringing together students, teachers, and townsfolk. We have to keep her name out there, Jessica insisted at one such gathering. Someone must have seen something. As days turned to weeks without a lead, the initial hope began to wane, replaced by a gnawing fear. Emily's parents, once hopeful, now faced the reality that their daughter may never return. Every day is like a nightmare, Linda admitted. We just want to know what happened to her. The investigation took several twists and turns, including tips that led nowhere and rumors that spiraled out of control. Yet, amidst the turmoil, Detective Mills remained steadfast. We won't give up, she promised to the gathered crowd at a press conference. We will find her, and we will uncover the truth. With each passing day, Emily's story became a haunting reminder of the pressures faced by young individuals in today's society. Friends and family alike began to reflect on their own expectations and the importance of mental health awareness. We need to talk about these pressures, Jessica urged. Emily's story can't just be a tragedy. It needs to spark change. As the investigation pressed on, the community was left grappling with the uncertainty of Emily's fate, caught in a web of intrigue that blurred the lines between hope and despair. Her disappearance had not only stolen a promising life, but had ignited a conversation about the burdens carried by so many young people. As the community continued to grapple with Emily Carter's disappearance, another dark shadow loomed on the horizon. A series of murders began to surface, each more gruesome than the last, sending shockwaves through the town and igniting a fear that was palpable. The media quickly dubbed the perpetrator the Night Stalker, a name that echoed in the fearful whispers of residents, overshadowing Emily's case with a chilling urgency. Detective Sarah Mills found herself thrust into this new nightmare, her determination to solve Emily's case now intertwined with the hunt for a killer who had seemingly slipped through the cracks of society. We need to connect the dots, she remarked during a briefing with her team, her voice steady but laced with urgency. These murders could be linked, and we have to act quickly before another life is lost. The first victim, a local waitress named Lisa, was found in an abandoned warehouse, her life extinguished in a manner that left the community reeling. It's like a horror movie come to life, said Tom, a police officer who had been on the force for over a decade. I've never seen anything like this. As the investigation unfolded, it revealed a chilling pattern. Each victim had been approached in seemingly mundane circumstances: a late-night shift, a jog in the park, an evening stroll. Witnesses described a figure lurking in the shadows, a presence that sent shivers down their spines. It felt like I was being watched, one eyewitness recounted, her voice trembling. I didn't think much of it at the time, but now. The psychological profile of the Night Stalker began to take shape as forensic psychologists analyzed the crime scenes. We're dealing with someone who craves power and control, Dr. Angela Reeve, a prominent criminal psychologist, explained to a group of detectives. Their methodology suggests a deep-seated need for dominance, possibly stemming from childhood trauma. As Detective Mills delved deeper into the killer's past, she discovered a thread of violent behavior dating back to adolescence. a pattern of escalating aggression that had gone unnoticed by family and authorities. It's often the case that these individuals blend in, presenting themselves as normal, Dr. Reeve continued. But beneath the surface lies a darkness that can erupt at any time. Meanwhile, survivor accounts emerged, offering a glimpse into the harrowing experiences of those who had narrowly escaped the killer's grasp. One survivor, Sarah, recounted her near-fatal encounter. "I remember feeling a cold hand on my shoulder," she said, her eyes wide with fear. "I turned just in time to see him. He was gone before I could scream." The community rallied around the survivors, organizing support groups that offered a safe space for healing. "We cannot let fear dictate our lives," Sarah urged during a meeting, her voice steady despite the tremor of her past. "We need to reclaim our sense of safety and strength." As weeks turned into months, Detective Mills and her team worked tirelessly, piecing together evidence and chasing leads. The investigation culminated in a breakthrough when a witness identified a suspicious vehicle seen near the crime scenes. "This could be it," Mills whispered to her partner, her heart racing. "We have a chance to catch him." In a tense standoff, law enforcement surrounded the suspect's home. As the door swung open, revealing a disheveled man with wild eyes, the reality of the hunt came crashing down. "You're under arrest," Detective Mills declared, her voice firm. As the killer was led away, the community breathed a collective sigh of relief. Yet, the scars of fear and loss remained, a haunting reminder of the darkness that had infiltrated their lives. "We can't forget them," Sarah insisted at a community vigil held for the victims. "Their stories deserve to be told, and we must honor their memories." Through the chaos and pain, there emerged a conversation about the importance of mental health awareness, prevention, and the need for community vigilance. Emily Carter's disappearance and the subsequent murders had intertwined their fates, igniting a fire for change that would resonate long after the darkness had passed. As the dust settled from the terror unleashed by the Night Stalker, another quiet storm was brewing within the folds of the community. The haunting realization that domestic violence was often hidden in plain sight became more prominent as stories surfaced, revealing a pattern of abuse that had been overlooked for far too long. The tragic case of the Henderson family shook the town to its core, illuminating the darker corners of relationships that many chose to ignore. Emily Henderson, a once vibrant mother of two, had become a ghost in her own home, a victim of her husband's escalating rage. "I never saw the signs," her sister, Laura, lamented during an interview that would later resonate deeply with the community. "He was charming at first, but then it was like a switch flipped." As Laura recounted the moments leading up to the tragic incident, the pain in her voice was palpable. "I remember the bruises, but she always had an excuse, a door, a fall. I wish I had known how to help her." The community had been blissfully unaware, blinded by the facade that Emily and her husband portrayed. Detective Sarah Mills, still reeling from the recent investigations, found herself drawn to this new narrative. "Domestic violence is a silent killer," she remarked during a community meeting aimed at raising awareness. "It's often shrouded in shame and secrecy, but we must break that cycle." The local police department, now more attuned to the signs of domestic violence, began a series of outreach initiatives. Officer Tom, who had witnessed the aftermath of the Henderson tragedy, passionately spoke at a town hall meeting, "We need to educate our community. Awareness is our first line of defense. If you see something, say something." As the community rallied together, advocates began to emerge, sharing their own experiences and insights on domestic violence. "It's not just physical," Melissa, a local advocate, emphasized during a workshop. "Emotional and psychological abuse can be just as damaging." We must create a space where victims feel safe to speak out. The discussions prompted a wave of support networks to form, offering resources and refuge for those in need. I had no idea where to turn. One survivor, Claire, shared during a support group session. But finding this group saved my life. It made me realize I wasn't alone. As the community's response grew, a powerful narrative began to emerge, one centered around resilience, healing, and the importance of breaking the silence. The Henderson tragedy became a catalyst for change, igniting conversations that had long been buried. In the wake of Emily's death, the town held vigils, not only to honor her memory, but to push for legislation aimed at preventing domestic violence. "We need to turn our grief into action," Laura declared, her voice breaking yet resolute. Emily's story must serve as a warning, a call to arms for all of us. As the community united in their efforts, Detective Mills reflected on the interconnectedness of their struggles. "We've faced the darkness of a killer, and now we must confront the shadows within our own homes," she stated, her eyes scanning the crowd filled with hope and determination. This chapter of the community's journey served as both a painful reminder and a hopeful testament to the strength they could find in unity. Through awareness, education, and compassionate dialogue, they began to forge a path toward healing, ensuring that no family would have to endure the same fate as the Hendersons. As the community began to heal from the haunting tragedy of domestic violence that had unfolded, another story emerged from the shadows, a tale of ambition, greed, and audacity that would soon grip the nation. It was dubbed the Heist of the Century, a meticulously planned robbery that not only stole millions, but also captivated the public's imagination and reignited discussions about crime and morality. The night was cloaked in darkness as four masked figures approached the towering walls of the prestigious Diamond Exchange. Their hearts raced with a mix of adrenaline and fear. This was not just a job, but a statement. Among them was Marcus, the mastermind behind the operation, whose charm and intelligence had always drawn people to him. "This is it, folks. Tonight, we become legends," he whispered, a flicker of excitement in his eyes. "Legends or fugitives?" Jessica, the tech-savvy member of the crew, retorted, adjusting her night vision goggles. Her fingers danced over the stolen security codes, revealing the hidden pathways that would guide them through the building. "Let's just stick to the plan. We can't afford any mistakes." As they navigated the labyrinth of the Diamond Exchange, their motivations became clear. For Marcus, it was the thrill of the heist, the allure of being someone who dared to defy the odds. Jessica, on the other hand, was driven by her past. A childhood marked by poverty had instilled in her a burning desire for a better life, no matter the cost. But as they broke into the vault, the weight of their choices began to settle in. What if we get caught? Liam, a nervous but eager recruit, questioned, his voice trembling as they loaded bags with glittering jewels. "We've come too far to turn back now," Marcus replied, determination lacing his words. "This is our moment." However, unbeknownst to them, law enforcement was already hot on their trail. Detective Sarah Mills, fresh from her community outreach initiatives, found herself delving into a different kind of darkness. This is not just about the jewels. It's about understanding what drives people to commit such acts, she noted during a briefing with her team. "We need to get inside their heads." As the heist unfolded, the police launched a meticulous investigation, employing new techniques informed by their recent experiences with domestic violence cases. "We're looking for patterns," Officer Tom explained to the team. "Every criminal leaves behind traces of their motivations, and we'll find them." Days turned into weeks, and as the media frenzy intensified, the public began to idolize the robbers, fascinated by their audacity and cunning. "It's almost like they're modern-day Robin Hoods," a local news anchor remarked, sparking debates about morality and crime. The allure of the heist had captured the collective imagination, blurring the lines between right and wrong. Meanwhile, Jessica began to feel the weight of their choices. "What have we become?" she pondered one night, staring at the stolen jewels piled in front of her. "We wanted to escape our pasts, but are we really any better?" Her inner conflict highlighted the emotional toll of their actions, revealing a depth often overlooked in discussions about crime. As law enforcement closed in, tensions rose within the crew. "We need to lay low," Marcus insisted, but Jessica's resolve wavered. "I can't live like this. We've lost ourselves." In a moment of crisis, the crew fractured, revealing the vulnerabilities that lay beneath their bravado. In a dramatic twist, the heist came to a head when Detective Mills received a tip-off about their hideout. "This is our chance," she rallied her team, the urgency palpable. They stormed the location, catching the robbers off guard. The aftermath was chaotic, filled with shouts and the blare of sirens, but also brought with it a sobering realization for all involved. As the robbers were apprehended, the community watched, reflecting on the allure of crime and the motivations that drove individuals to such extremes. In the days that followed, discussions emerged not only about justice, but also about rehabilitation and understanding the root causes of crime. Every choice has consequences, Detective Mills reminded her team in a debriefing, her words resonating deeply with the lessons learned from both the Henderson case and the heist. "Our work goes beyond catching criminals. It's about understanding the human condition." As the dust settled from the heist, the community, still healing from past traumas, began to engage in conversations about crime, morality, and the importance of empathy. The story of the heist became more than just a tale of theft. It evolved into a reflection on the complexities of human behavior, illuminating the shadows that lingered within society and within us all.